Welcome back to American Agenda. We've seen a lot of developments today on Capitol Hill. We've got apparent reporting that it's possible an invasion could happen on the 16th, Heather. This coming from Zelensky himself in statements. You have the Pentagon saying we don't know now. There's no definitive time that this could happen. Right. We have the Secretary of Defense planning on going tomorrow, a day before an invasion is possible, meeting with some NATO allies, including Poland, which is right next door. We've provided some Javelin missiles, which could be anti-tank. But let's face it, if Russia decides to do something, that's just going to be a mosquito in the attack.
But yet at the same time, you have the Pentagon spokesperson, John Kirby, at the top of our show being asked, what if Putin invades Ukraine, and doubling down and once again saying that the U.S. would respond swiftly with severe economic sanctions.
All right, let's talk about what's going on. Ford O'Connell joins us right now, and Florida businessman, lawyer, and former Trump appointee, president of Reaching America and Project 21 member Derrick Hollie. Ford, I'll start with you. What do you think's going on here? Because there are a lot of mixed messages. And I worry that the people in Ukraine are like the frog put into the water. It's getting hotter and hotter. They don't realize what's about to happen.
No, they don't realize what's going to happen. Look, I hope Russia does not invade Ukraine, but basically Vladimir Putin sees himself as Peter the Great, and he wants to relink the former Soviet Empire. And this is the playbook he ran in 2008 when he took over Georgia, and then when he annexed Crimea in 2014. And unfortunately, the problem in America right now is, no, we don't want to send troops, but we have to rethink our playbook when it comes to diplomacy, treaties, and moving armaments around the world, because right now, Russia and China in particular are taking advantage of our weakness, and especially with Joe Biden after what they saw with Afghanistan and the disarray within NATO.
Yeah, Derrick, I was actually reading an op-ed in the Washington Post earlier today talking exactly what Ford was just saying about how this weakness on the foreign policy front of the Biden administration is having far-reaching implications, and how the Biden administration perhaps needs to readjust and focus a little bit more on what's happening all around the world, and specifically Biden's responses to it.
Exactly. Heather, Bob, appreciate you guys having me back on. But I think it began in the summer, prior to the summer, with the whole Afghanistan debacle. And so I think immediately America lost respect in terms of its foreign policy on the world stage. Biden went to the climate policy conference and fell asleep over there. I mean, it was embarrassing to the country. And so here we are again, like the playbook, as Ford was saying, the same thing they did in 2014 when they invaded Crimea. Now the sign of weakness of America is just allowing Putin to do what he wants to do. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And it's awful for the Ukrainian people.
So, Derrick, give me a scenario in which this ends okay and everybody saves face and goes back to what they were doing.
I think the only way everyone can save face is if there's some type of diplomatic solution to what's going on right now.
And what would that look like, you think?
You know, let me say I'm not the best in terms of foreign relation policy, but I think we have enough people, qualified people who can come to some type of agreement in terms of just what Putin wants. Okay, so he can show the world, okay, he's still Putin, but at the same time, in the United States, we have to show that we are still a superpower and have a say-so in what happens.
Yeah, and we know what Putin wants, allegedly, is for Ukraine to not be or give up their desire to be a NATO country.
Has that always been a red herring? It wasn't imminent, right, Ford?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. It goes back to what Putin really wants, and he wants to reunite the former Soviet Union. And whether this ends in a battle or it ends diplomatically, we still need to redouble our efforts when it comes to strengthening NATO. And we have to take the pipeline, the Nord Stream 2, out of Germany, because Germany is becoming dependent on Russian energy. If Germany's going to be dependent on anyone's energy, it needs to be American. What we're learning right now is that energy security leverage is the most important thing on the world stage.
But Ford, you know that it was Germany that pressured the Biden administration to begin with to back off of the sanctions that the Trump administration had put into place
They want that
for
gas.
Nord Stream 2. Yes.
Of course, but what we should have done is see the green agenda is what's hurt all of us under Biden.
Yeah.
Basically, you should have never okayed the pipeline and come up with a different oil and gas deal for Germany and Western Europe, because we know at the end of the day, half of the green agenda in Europe is not about good environmental sensitivity. It's about the need that they need gas and oil, and now they're going to sell out their sovereignty to the highest bidder, in this case, Russia.
All right, Ford, Derrick, if you would stand by, please. We've got more coming up, including rules for thee, but not for me. Again, more prominent Democrats and celebrities maskless at the Super Bowl. In fact, did you see any masks other than like assistant coaches on the sideline? Nobody wearing a mask out there.
Plus, we will take a listen to what Bill Maher had to say about Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Our panel will weigh in coming up.